To the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League here from Road America. It's time for another round of this series and a massive entry this time round. 46 drivers I can currently see having set a lap in qualifying. I can see other drivers out there who have not set times just for the moment as well. It is a huge entry here in qualifying for this league that is so well attended and provides such good racing as well. It's Road America this time around. You would say the most circuit focused rather on straight line speed out of the three we've had so far after the Suzuka and Algarve races to start this season, both of which were won by Antonio Jimenez, with also Dennis Cornu on the podium twice as well. Are we going to get some new names here today? I wonder. We'll find out. Myself, Ian O'Leary and James Poppet alongside me for this one. The big talking point is the amount of entries here, James. This is the biggest we've had this season. We had 31 at Suzuka. We had 37 last week at the Algarve. This is way bigger than either of those.
Yeah, we've got literally 46. We've got 51 in the session, but we've got 5 that haven't set times in qualifying. So we think there's going to be 46 drivers there as well. Going to make it very interesting indeed. We've got the championship standings. You can have a run through the top 20.
Only 2 rounds gone just yet for the championship standings, of course. So Antonio Jimenez does lead, of course, because he's won 2 races. Dennis Cornu, 2 podiums, was putting 3 points further behind. Luca Varani a further 5 points behind. Bedanayan is in 4th, just 5 points ahead of Loris Bila. Then it's Ludovic Ranson, tied on points with Max Invictus and Mehmet Tachi in 6th place. Robert Ridgway and Carlos Ferro round out the top 10, with Simon Fessi just outside that top 10. And Chalmers next, another couple of points back from him is Scott Taylor. And Guillen and Baldwin round out the top 15 rather. Oscar Artanano tied with Richard Van Veen for 16th place, with Ben Goet just another point behind. Then you've got Jonathan Cazorla and Paul Gistelli, who are tied in 19th place as well on 45 points. So that's where we stand in the championship standings. No drop rounds applied just yet, of course, because if we were to drop 2 races, as we're going to by the end of the season, everyone will be on 0, which is not particularly helpful for us to see how the guys have been getting on so far. So we'll start to add those in as the weeks go on, as we get close towards the end of the calendar. But for now, it is just the overall that we'll show you, because so far, it's been a great season for Antonio Jimenez. Lights to flag victory last week at the Algarve, and a couple of passes at Suzuka 2 weeks ago to get from 3rd to 1st in that race. He's currently 3rd in this qualifying session as well. Just waiting to see really whether he can really deliver at the end of one of these championships, because it's been such a great start for him. But we have seen him win before. It's not often, though, that we see him up challenging for the title right at the very end of the season.
Yeah, the interesting thing is he hadn't won for a year. It was a year the last time Antonio Jimenez won, and then he goes and wins 2 in a row. So is he going to get a 3rd one here, or will he not on that one? It's very interesting in the fact he's taken a whole year to win 1 and then goes and wins 2 back-to-back. So I'm excited to see what Tony can do. Deserved. 100% deserved. As I said, it took him a whole year to basically get 1 win, and now he's got 2 back-to-back, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, having a great season so far. And he's only, let's try and do the maths on that, 12 thousandths away from pole here. Iko Bolzeski currently is on pole here for this race. Session not over yet, but he is looking good for the moment. He's just improved again further there, so that's nearly a 1/10 of a second of a gap. But as I said, Jimenez is still on a lap here as well, and in towards turn 8, which is the sort of right-angled left-hander after the hurry downs, and then through the right-handed carousel. Just a minute to go in qualifying, and you do get to complete your lap times as well. So there's going to be one more chance here for Jimenez. It might well be his last chance, though, in this session. And he's catching up to lap traffic as well, which might give him a bit of slipstream, might get in his way in the final sector. Yeah,
we're going to find out how he gets on down into the right-hander, of course, into Canada corner, turn number 12. So at the moment, he's just far enough back where he might catch them going into 14. If he can catch them, he might get a little bit of draft coming out of turn 14, which will help him up that long start-finish straight. And I do specify again, that start-finish straight is longer than my high street where I live. So for Tony, he's going to have a nice little bit of a draft all the way up, but this is how it's going to affect going into the race as well, because the draft is not quite over. This is going to give Jimenez a nice bit of draft as he goes over the line. Is he going to go purple at the end? He jumps into pole, 154.65. That draft at the end helped him there massively.
Wow. What a fantastic lap time from Jimenez. He has actually crossed the line. I think, well, he's not going to carry on with another lap time, and he might not need to here. Ludovic Ranson has gone off the road as well. The three behind him initially are all in the pit lane. Flint's not on a lap time. Amal neither. Max Invictus is the closest, who is still out there with a realistic chance of even going quicker at all here. And he is doing so, but he's the only driver in the top 10 now who can improve further. Been a good performance from him in qualifying sessions this season. He took pole at Suzuka. Unfortunately, it's the consistency in the race that's really been letting him down. He's not qualified outside the top 5 yet because he was 5th at Portimao last week as well. It's a very similar situation here. Lap car just up in front here, looking to get in the way. Is it maybe through the final couple of corners? It may have done.
Oh, it has.
Oh, he's going to be unhappy about that. I'm not sure whether that car is on a lap or not, but if they're not, then they totally just got in the way there.
Yeah, that was Sean Pulsifer in his liveried machine, jumps back to pit lane, so that's going to annoy him even more. There, we got Robert Ridgway still out on the track. Andy Flint is another one, but Flint's looking like he's not going any quicker. Jimenez is out, but he's not improving. Ridgway is the only one improving up in the top 17, as he's got 2 greens in sectors 3 and 4. We've got 6 sectors here to contend with.
Absolutely. Too many, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree with you. I agree.
Through the final corner for Ridgway. Those cars do look good this season, don't they? The Ridgway cars, for want of a better word. Out onto the start-finish line for him. A couple of personal bests in the middle here, and he does improve up to 13th place on 55.2. That's only, just under 6 tenths away from pole. Oh, and Leonard Sherry there going for a big spin. And a little bit of contact with the wall at the carousel as well. Yeah. Often see that in these cars. No. That was a real, violent sort of bit of oversteer there. I don't see that very often.
No, but it does look like he may have just hit the brakes a little bit too hard, and that back end turned around and went, whoa, back up, son. You can't do that to me. And unfortunately, it did go round there as well. I don't think the guys out on track are Piscari and Tarnsma are going to get to finish their laps. Tarnsma's down in 40th, Piscari in 35. But Mr. O'Leary, I hope you've got a big breath inside of you when it comes to reading this grid.
Yeah, thanks. It is going to be a very...
I've been there, mate. I know.
There are actually, 46 drivers with time, but over the course of the session, 3 more drivers did leave the pit lane at some point. So we may well have 49 to start. So we'll obviously let you know when we get underway here. But it is the biggest grid we've had this season by some distance, no matter if all of those get to the grid or not. So let's go through it with Tony Jimenez on the pole ahead of Jakubowski, only in his second start this season. He'll start from second. Luca Varani and Ludovic Ranson will be on row 2 ahead of Yunus Amal and Thomas Rugien. It's Andy Flint and Max Invictus, an All-American 4th row, ahead of Cazorla and Dodderer to round out the top 10. Des Cornu needs to do a lot of work from 11th to continue his streak of podiums. Robert Ridgway is alongside him on row 6. It is Simon Fessi next, ahead of Alex Ogredo, with Badin Ayan all the way down in 15th compared to where he is in the championship. A surprise. Mehmet Tashi, same, because he's in 16th. Jacques Willems and Thibaut Rabelais will be on row 9 under Kojito, and Leonard Sherry, who we just saw there at the end of that qualifying session, rounding out the top 20. Giovanni Solito and Eddie Amos next, ahead of Andrei Wyszkowski and Carlos Ferro on row 12. And then just over a second off pole, it's Felix Redondo and Abel Trinado. Stefano Pinazzi and Nguyen are on the next row, ahead of Austin Baldwin and Stuart Milne, who round out the top 30. Elia Flugi and Clark Williams are next, ahead of Richard Van Veen and Ben Goyet. Adrian Pascari and Oscar Artinano are on row 18. It is Dorian Arroyo and then Loris Baylor, Scott Taylor and Adam Townsend round at the top 40, ahead of John McKenzie, who's just within 2 seconds of the pole, unlike Matthew Gracie in 42nd. Costas Tenebrel is 43rd, ahead of Elliot Yingling, with Luis Albino and Sean Pulsifer next, the last driver to set a time. Nicholas Vestman, Manuel Vargas, Harry Saston, Simon Eberg and Chris Fels all didn't set times. mentioned, 3 of them did leave pit lane though, and I can tell you that all but Simon Eberg at the moment are on the grid. We're not finished yet with the gridding process, but it looks like we're going to get at least 50 here for this race, which is going to be absolutely fantastic here at Road America, with Tony Jimenez on pole for the 2nd week in a row. Can he convert it into a lights to flag victory, much like what he had just 1 week ago? As the drivers are now ready to go, the lights will come on in a few moments' time. Looks like everybody who should be on the grid is, although with a few exceptions, a bit further down the field. The green flag now waves and we're underway here from Road America in the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League for the 3rd round of the championship season. Tony Jimenez inside line in towards turn 1, and he's going to be able to hold that lead pretty easily ahead of Jakub Olszewski in towards turn 1. Then it's going to be Luca Verani. Then Ludovic Ranson is next, still side by side though for 5th place rather. Rusien round the outside of Amal. And it looks like he is, well, not quite going to get that position just yet. Of course, active overtaking restricted on the opening lap through the opening corners of the lap as well. But if you are already side by side, you can continue the fight. And that's what these two are doing right the way down the hill here in towards turn 5. Long braking zone at this corner, and Rizien on the inside is just going to brake a little bit later, and he's going to get through up into the top 5, where it's all pretty much single file, certainly for the top 16. Then you get to Rabelon, and things get a little bit busier down in the back of the pack.
Yeah, everybody looks like they've made it through. We've had Elia Flugi and Loris Berla start from pit lane. That's quite interesting, as we just lost Chris Vales by the looks of it. He's just gone round as well, but it does look like Tony Jimenez out in front, flying along with Jakub Oleszewski in 2nd place. Luca Verani sitting there in 3rd at the moment. Now, Luca did message me and say, James, listen, I've not had much practice here, sir. I'm going to see how we get on. I turned around and said, man up, it's Road America. We've all driven there before. So there we go. That was my advice to Luca Verani.
It is a very well-driven circuit, I suppose, so that is certainly playing into favour of anyone who's not particularly well practiced around here, at least in recent times. As you can see, this real large group at the front end of the field here. Jimenez leads the way for the moment, but what's going to happen for the remainder of this one? Because right now they're queuing up behind him out of the final corner. He's only got 0.3 of a second. Jakub Olszewski is going to be telling us a lot about how this race is going to be raced in a few moments' time. Is he going to try and come straight through, or is he going to stay behind in towards turn 1? He's going to stay behind by the looks of things. So is Barani, Ransom, Rizien to round out the top 5. Does that suggest maybe that they are going to queue up behind Jimenez until the very end of the race? We'll see. They're not a bit further down the pack. Ranson and Rizien in towards turn 3, side by side briefly, but they stay in the same positions.
Yeah, they have at the moment. It does look like there's a bit of a queue. This queue goes right the way down to Rabelard, which is in 17th place. That is it. And then we have a second gap to Wiskowski, who's got another group right the way down to 34th in behind. But Rabelard's going to pull out. He's going to have a go. He's got covered off. Oh, dearie me, there's a double cover in front of Rabelard, Emery and Guardo. And no, they cannot make it through there. And it does look like a couple of others are still going side by side in the background here, Ewan. This is getting quite manic with all of these cars on the race circuit. There is 49 of them. Jacques Willems is in pit lane. He has gone off, and we will have a look back at all replays at the end of the race, of course. But at the moment, there's a lot of gaggle happening, and one of them is here with Andy Flint, Max Invictus, Yunus Amal. They're continuing the fight, and Tasky and Wiskowski have also been off the side of the circuit at the same time. Clark Williams is another one. Look at the grandeur.
Yeah, it's all going on back here because of that for Rizkowski, or partly anyway, because of that for Rizkowski and some of the others. I think Koji Ito was slightly wide, but that might have just been a normal off track. And there's a change for the lead as well. Jakub Olszewski into Canada corner has got through. So after waiting on the previous lap, now he is through, and Tony Jimenez has got a real battle on his hands here. Maybe the reason they weren't fighting earlier was because they could be distance some of those behind, and they've been successful sort of at that. And if they start to fight between themselves now for the lead, it is going to be a different story. There's a look down the inside from Jimenez, or is it a look to say, I'm not going to try and come through on you on this occasion? We'll find out on the way towards turn 1. It's look down the inside, and no, he's not going to make any move. Side by side for 4th place between Ranson and Ridgien again, and this is allowing the front three to get away. Oh, and that was Ranson rather off the road, run off the road by his compatriot, I think, there in towards turn 1. Now he's going backwards. He's all the way down to 9th place. In front of him, Flint gets past Dodderer. That wasn't particularly too kind to Ludovic Ranson.
No, it definitely wasn't, but there's been drama in the back. Wiskowski, Westman and McKenzie, Saston, Richard Van Veen, and have had to come in together at the same time. So big incidents going on.
Ridgway tried to pass them on the grass there on the pretty wide moment, and he is a little bit wide there through turn 5, so he's not going to get all of them, but he might get 9th place at least. He might get 1 position, and somebody's spun in the background. That looks like, well, I don't know, it might be a lap car. And anyway, Ranson holds on ahead of Ridgway. And there's another description of just how the slipstream helps, especially on the way down towards turn 5. It has all allowed the leaders to get away, though, as I think these two are realising now. They're working together a little bit to try and make this just a battle between 2 of them.
Yeah, Varani's stuck in that sort of no man's land. He's got a second in front. He's got 1.1 behind Rajan with Amal and Invictus, Dodderer, Flint, Rancon, Ridgway, Fessy. All in this little packet of groups here, but Jimenez and Olozwinski, the 2 temps back at the moment going into Canada corner. Is Jimenez going to make it 3 out of 3? Has he waited a year and then he's going to get 3 back-to-back? That would be absolutely epic for Tony and well deserved. But at the moment, Olozwinski's holding him there. He's got that front position as well. Talk to Jakob, young lad. He's been doing lots of work and, you know, lots of practice within the car and everything else at the moment as well. He's done other series as Jakob. So lots happening at the moment here, and at the moment Jimenez sitting in there 55.7 for Olozwinski, 55.8 from Tony Jimenez.
Certainly is. Oh, side by side, meanwhile, further behind, Ridgien and Amal, but Invictus and Dodderer as well in the background. Run side by side down in towards turn 3, inside line for Invictus, and he gets 6th place. Well, sort of. Dodderer will get the run on the exit here, and he's going to get the slipstream as well. That's quite kind from the 2 in front, and he's making sure that he sort of crowds Invictus out of this one as well, as he's stuck up through on the outside line. Side by side just up in front of him here. 2 rows of side by side in towards turn 5. Ridgien and Amal absolutely locked together, and that is Ridgien who's going to get through on the outside, and it's Invictus also who gets through into 6th place. But the real key, I think, for Invictus this week is going to be the consistency. A lot of mistakes and a lot of incidents for him 1 week ago, despite some good speed. And, well, there you go. He's back down to 7th again as Dodderer gets past him. He's got to clean up those mistakes, got to clean up his race a little bit, and he'll get some better results than he's had in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, the interesting thing is Dodderer is Ridgway Racing astronauts aspiring to be aliens, apparently. And Max Invictus and Robert Ridgway are Ridgway Racing setups. So they're part of a team and sister team. It does look like Lois Sabino and Manuel Vargas have had some drama at the same time. We'll put them out that. But they're going 3 wide at the moment.
Oh! In towards Canada corner. It's going to be a squeeze through here. Oh, and that's very close. It took one of them to back out, and it was Ridgway in the end. Invictus went quite wide, and so Ridgway might actually get a position. But it sort of almost as a reward for his caution there. And round the outside, he's going to get through into 7th. Now Ranson's going to try and get through as well, but he can't at that time around. Oh, and a big spin. Oh, it's a crash out the final corner for Stefan Dodderer. He's done so well to get up to 6th place, but unfortunately he's hit the wall and he's going to be out of things from there. He's broken his rear left, and that's no surprise considering the way he hit the wall there, and that is a real shame for Stefan Dodderer. Meanwhile, Ridgway and Invictus go side by side themselves here through turn 1. Goodness me, that's pretty brave, and Ridgway has his nose just behind here after a great run round the outside from Invictus through turn 1. He can't repeat it at turn 3, and it continues down towards the 2nd straight of this track.
Oh, their teammates, they're 3 wide in behind as well. Unity come and sandwiched them. Oh, they've lost Ridgway backwards. 2 by 2 going down into the corner as well. This looks absolutely amazing. And it's Unity versus Ridgway Racing setups. Ridgway's on the inside. Oh, dude, unpick this.
Look at Bessie there, by the way, on the way towards turn 5. He was initially through on about 3 drivers. Now he's gone backwards by 1 or 2. It's 3rd in the group. This is exactly what you come to Road America to see, especially in these cars. They're very good for this kind of racing at this kind of circuit. Are the Super Formula lights. And have a look at this. Look at Alex Aguado and what he can see just up in front of him at the moment from 12th place. Remarkable battles going on just up in front of him here as now they make their way towards the right-handed kink. It's all going to go on through Canada Corner again. This is basically one just long straight, really. And so you get some big slipstream, and they're getting it here as well. Mal versus Rizien, and it's going to be Yunus and Mal who prevails in that one. Side by side again back here, and it's going to be Ridgway who holds on to the lead of that group. But by the way, I think in terms of that other team name, I think they've shortened it for this season. I'm not sure we've changed it yet. I think they're Ridgway Racing Astronauts or something, rather than aspiring to be aliens, which has broken all our graphics. But anyway, it doesn't matter anymore because Dodder's out of the race. It's the two Ridgway teammates, including Robert Ridgway, who's now at the front of this group.
Oh, here we go again. Invictus pulls to the inside. He goes on the defense into turn one. That's going to allow Fessy in behind. He's going to get rid of a run here, Fessy. Through the outside, coming into turn number 3. Is he going to make it? No, he's not going to make it through. The free Unity, boys. Oh, Invictus is on the grass. That's going to give him the run all day.
Yeah, he's going to go almost to the back of the group here. Well, he's done well to tuck back in, actually, behind Fessy. Otherwise, he would have been in trouble. And Fessy, rather than giving slipstream to his teammate, is just staying on the outside line. Now he realises, but now he's sort of in the way of Dennis Cornu. That was not great teamwork there, unlike what the Ridgway Racing set-ups drivers have been doing so far. That wasn't great teamwork from Fessy and Cornu. Cornu will get through nevertheless, though, and he's up to 8th place now. You'd imagine his streak of podiums is going to come to an end here today. That was close. Invictus very nearly spun round there over the front of Ranson, who goes back down the inside at turn 8. Oh, how have they not made contact there? Ranson goes through.
Oh my God, I thought that was it. As soon as Ranson took the dive, I thought they were all done here. That is absolutely insane. They've all made it through. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's got about 4 drivers in. Ferrero, Cazzola, Fanazzi. Oh dear.
Sherry?
Yeah, they're all there.
And Sherry might be involved. Again, we have to have a look at all replays after the race. But yes, we will check back on that a little bit later on. Meanwhile, this is Ranson versus Invictus here, and no look down the inside that time round from Ranson. Oh, and they followed each other off. Invictus there went wide himself. Ranson was just following him, really. Tunnel vision. And Taxi is going to confront both of them here. Aguado as well. You would imagine the run is going to be sublime for the both of them here. They're trying to stare over to the right side. There's going to be contacts here. Oh, my word. What is Ranson doing there? There's all sorts of weaving around going on here. He was just boxed in. He was trying to almost box his way out of that situation. And Taxi now goes wide. He went into turn 1 with way more speed than he's been used to, and so goes straight off. Aguado's the one who really gains out of it. He's up to the top 10.
Oh, mate, how again? It just shows the quality of what's there, because any other race, any other official, that would have been side-by-side contact all day. We've got it again. Rancon trying to go up the inside of Aguado, going into the left-hander of turn number 5. Ranson makes it through. Fessy here now as well. He's got Eunice Amal, but he's alongside Robert Ridgway. Into the carousel they go. Ridgway's on the right. Oh.
And Cornu will take advantage of that. He'll be on the outside, but now his teammate's in the way again there. Want Fessy on the inside line there so that Cornu can break a little bit deeper and Ridgway can't. But in a weird way, after doing part of the work for him, punching that hole for Fessy, then he sort of got in the way at turn number 8. I guess he's focusing on his own race, to be fair. I mean, not exclusively on Dennis Cornu's, but either way, he could have been a bit more helpful to his teammate. He might well be able to deliver the final blow now, though. Cornu, no matter where Fessy is going to be. There's Fessy with a little bit of assistance there, at least to just take the slipstream away from Ridgway, who actually breaks very late that time round and keeps the place.
Yeah, he does. Fair play to them. There's a battle in front of this as well. Rajon and also Amal are not leaving each other alone. They have been in and out of that 3/10 mark, and they're still doing it here. But the problem is they're closing on Luca Varani at a rapid rate of knots. So Varani needs to be a little bit careful, because we've got a 55.43 fastest lap of the race for Amal coming at them. So it's lots happening here at the moment as well. But at the moment, Oleswinski's out in front, him in his second, then Luca Varani, who's now got Rajon and Amal behind him, and we've still got Ridgway, Fessy, who look like they're almost side by side. Well, they are. here going into free.
Yeah, Ridgway is seeing his best form of defence as attack here, and he's probably right, because Cornu is right behind him here, and he's actually really close. He could get boxed in, Ridgway. He's got to get himself out of there, and he does. He does very well. He gets through the middle, in fact, and Fessy could be the one going backwards here. In fact, he might well knock over both of the teammates here in towards turn 5. Oh, it's a very tight line, inside line for Fessy, who's going to keep the place. Are they all going to stay in the same position, bizarrely, as what they were before? It would be weird. Here comes Ridgway on the outside again, and they are. No positional change at all, would you believe it? Down the straight there in towards turn 5, despite a 3-wide moment.
Oh, my dearie me. And now look who's back in it again. Invictus is there, Rancon's there, Aguado's there. These guys are just battling it out. We've got Varane under a heap of pressure. He's got Rajon tucked in right behind him. Where are you going to go? He's got nowhere to go for Rajon. I don't think he's going to be able to have a go on the outside of Luca Varane. Where is he? I'm expecting him to come flying through. Actually, where is he? Oh, he's gone. Varane's got some speed there on that one. I thought Varane, he was alongside, wasn't he? Or was that just my eyes?
Well, I thought he had the momentum there, but it seems to have stopped completely there. Whether he's not got very good straight line speed, maybe compared to Varane, I've got no idea. We might have a better view this time round on the way towards turn 1. Ranson's going backwards again in that group. He briefly gone forwards, now he's backwards again in the group. Here comes Region again. Now, is Varane on a lower downforce setup right now? Is that why Region is struggling? Not really. Region's doing okay this time round, so I don't really know why he wasn't catching up in towards Canada corner. But anyway, he's through now into 3rd place. Have a look at this. This is the group of the race so far. This is fantastic stuff. Ridgway is leading it now in 6th place, but look at the gap ahead. He's nearly 10 seconds behind everybody ahead because they've been fighting so hard for these positions.
Yeah, they have. These 2, 4, we've got 6 cars. We've got 2 closing in as well at the back. We've got Guido and Tasky closing in. Rabelard's there at the same time. So this could be a group all the way down, but Varane can't catch Rajon once more. Ridgway's on his way down, and he's on his way down with a queue. He's like, nope, get off. Here is it, literally coming at him. Guido's looking to make a move on the inside. Oh, breathe in, son. Oh, he does make it through. I tell you what, though,
side
right?
by side, though.
Yeah, I tell you what, we wouldn't have had time for replays even if we could do them.
That's true. There's a lot going on at the moment, and we are a third of the way through the race already here. It is flying by quickly because these battles are electric for the moment. Tachi, Rabelard and Cazorla are all catching as well here. They could get the slipstream as well if this continues on. Ridgway is just trying to do a little bit of stretching out here as well. Let's try and reduce the size of this group a little bit, because this is going to get out of hand pretty soon if they're not careful. There'd be 9 in the group if they continue to fight here. So Ridgway with just a little bit of speed could just reduce the size of the group slightly, shake out the dead wood, if you like, from the back end of the group, and it looks like Ranson and Aguado might well go out the back of the group because they're battling again here. Aguado down the inside and goes through on Ranson. They need to get a move on in terms of retaining the slipstream here, because the guys ahead of them are not fighting, and they're actually shaking out those guys at the back now, out the back of the group. Yeah, they are. They're kind of dumping them off a little bit, isn't it, at the moment? But Rajon is now, he's got Varane tucked in right behind him. We're trying to catch a bit of everything. I need about 3 PCs to catch up with all of this, I've got to be honest. But Varane is there, and he can't get Rajon. Denny Cordu now alongside Robert Ridgway. They come in towards the fast foot turn 1 again, and Cordu goes round the outside. That is really undoing a bit of Ridgway's work from the last lap, unfortunately for him, and it's going to allow everybody else to catch up again, especially if it continues into turn 5. What the hell was that all about? There's loads of gravel for some reason at turn 5. Someone's brought it all the way to turn 3, rather. They've brought it all the way down the hill from turn 1. Here comes Ridgway again. He can't go right left. He's got to go right there, because round the other side, here comes, is it Cornu, I think, on the other side. Either way, Ridgway had to go very close to the grass there on the right-hand side and get through. He's in the gravel again. They're nearly 3 wide off the corner, and Ridgway gets to the back to the front of the group again. What a battle this is, and what a defence so far from Robert Ridgway. Yeah, and Aguado's there, and I tell you what, Ranson could really do with Aguado leaving him alone. They're not finished. They're still going here as well. Robert Ridgway, Simon Fetti, Denny Cornu still having a battle out as well. We got Trinado in pit lane. There's a few people out below that as
as well. But at the moment, this group, right the way from Rabelais in 13th, right the way to Ridgway in 6th, they are non-stop. And we've still got Rajon and Varane, who have not left each other alone, but they are dropping Eunice Amal. Amal could stay with Rajon, but as soon as Rajon got past Varane, that was it. They were gone. And Cornu's got Ridgway again.
It does surprise me a bit, actually. I would have thought Amal would be able to stay with them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Apparently not. It's a bit surprising. Maybe he's not enjoying the circuit, don't know. Through the final few corners, Cornu back ahead of Ridgway again, but the group is so much larger than what it was before. Rabelais and Cazorla have been too busy battling away to join in, though, so it is only Taxi who's joined recently, and he's still got a bit of work to get right in there because there's 8/10 of a second. He's not quite got the draft that he needs right now. He's losing time now on the straight. Side by side between Ranson and Invictus, and between Cornu and Ridgway. Again, Robert Ridgway is getting that place back again. Here, side by side, Invictus goes back to 10th place here. He's having a much more consistent race, especially in amongst the battles, than what he did last week. And so that can only be viewed as a positive, even if he's not particularly moving forward right now. Here comes Ridgway out of turn 3 again, weaving all over the place to try and make sure he's in the best defensive shape before the turn 5 braking zone. Cornu has decided to not go for a turn 1 this time round, but
he's going to go
rather
and send
keep
it through
at turn 1. He's trying to stay ahead at turn 5 this time. Ridgway's on the inside, quite late on the brakes there, and he could get taken by both here. He's on the middle of 3 wide. There's going to be a big problem here in towards turn 6. Surely he can't do it again, and he has. Oh my goodness, Ridgway still holds on to that position. Despite the teammates ganging up on him here, they still can't take his 6th place away.
Oh, Ridgway is defending like he's got 10 cars at the moment. He's got them all across the track. I can imagine him absolutely sweating in that car right now with all of these cars coming at him, and he still somehow come out in front. This is absolutely amazing. These battles are just looming. Tusky's just about onto the back of Aguado. He might just get a little bit of draft pulling him in. Cazorla and Rabelais, as you said, have been fighting, but again, Ridgway's at it again here.
And this time they won't be side by side. They do have a chance to get away here. Maybe that's what Cornu is slightly incentivised by. 8/10 of a second, so 3/4 of a second it is now. Not too far away from pulling away entirely here. As we approach half distance, we're actually completing lap 11 here, which is nearly halfway. That's wide from Ranson there. He's actually got a decent run, considering he was right in the grass the whole way down. Here comes Cornu again. So he's tried this before. Tried going through at turn 1 and then trying to defend afterwards, but it hasn't really worked. Last time round, he tried getting ahead before turn 5 and trying to do the or rather do the overtaking towards turn 5, and that didn't work either. So he's going to go back to the old way and try and get through towards turn 1 and defend in the second part again, but can't see it really having a different outcome. Ridgway's run out of turn 3 is very good each time, and there's not a lot you can do really when the driver behind has got the slipstream. These cars are very reliant on the slipstream, especially when overtaking, and so Ridgway is going to be through into 6th place. That was one of the less fraught battles we've seen, certainly between those guys, not between these. It's Ranson holding on from Aguado. Ranson gets away with running wide at the final corner in that case then, and or rather Aguado's holding off Invictus, excuse me. That's Invictus going backwards and outside the top 10.
Yeah, Tusky's also involved. And once again, Cazorla and Rabelais were close, but they've now dropped back again. So unfortunately for them, they've obviously been continuing to fight at the same time. But these guys really need to get a little bit of a move on to rejoin what is almost a full pack of cars at the moment with Robert Ridgway, Danny Cornu, Simon Fessy, Ludovic Rancon in and around him. And poor old Ridgway, well, dude, he is going to come off this sweating like an absolute trooper with these 3 Unity racing cars coming in behind him.
He's going to be sweating, that's for sure, in towards the right-hander at the end of the straight again. Canada corner this time round for Cornu, and that's not going to work either. It's too wide there. If he'd have stayed in line, they could have secured a 4-car group getting away here, but they might well do it anyway. Back between Invictus and Aguado has continued on, so they will get a bit of a margin now, although, well, there you go. Say, why did it come down? That's why, because they sped a bit too fast in towards the final corner, and they went off into the grass as well. Here comes Cornu again on the straight. Ridgway taking up his normal defensive shape here on the inside line, but Cornu is going to get straight through here in towards turn 1. Yep, so...
Oh, he didn't hold it!
Oh, my word. He just didn't have the rear grip there for the speed that he entered with. And he's going to be out of the group here. The others are going to get past him. He could be outside the top 10. No, he will at least hold on to 10th place.
Oh, he just went in way too quick. Round the corner he went, managed to pull it on. Ridgway's on the defense once more. And he's got that inside line again going into 5. But what is Fessy going to be able to do? He's got to go round the outside on the run down the hill. Is it going to be late on the brakes? Nope, they're about the same point. Nothing's going to change. Nobody went late. And now Ridgway still manages to hold on. But he gets a poor run out of 5. That brings them all back at him into 6. And he's managing to hold on here. And I tell you what, just wow.
Fantastic battle for these guys. Apologies for not showing the top 5, but not that much has been going on between them, and it's all been happening here. 6th place with Ridgway and the rest. Ridgway holding on to 6th place by sheer determination, really. Dennis Cornell, meanwhile, is off, and that is at turn 8 again. What is it with turn 8 today? Oh, he's in the wall. Wow. Yeah. You don't often see that down here. You don't often see... there's at least 3 things we'll have to look back at later on happening at turn 8 with people hitting the wall, which very rarely happens once in a race. But anyway, through into Canada corner again will go, because his teammates, Dennis Cornell's teammates, looking for a way past Robert Ridgway. They're not going to find one there into Canada corner.
No, they're still trying to get through. Ridgway's still defending. He's like got the right bit between his teeth today as Robert, so fair play to him. But he's holding on here. He really needs some help from Invictus. If Invictus can catch up, he really needs help. And yeah, I'm hoping that that's what will happen as we go later on. But lots of action still going. And again, Fessy's trying to go up the inside.
Now, we've seen this before. It's not too much of a concern if you lose the positioning towards turn 1. It will be if both come through. And that's what Ranson is trying to do right now and can't. Couldn't quite get alongside there of Robert Ridgway, although now he might. Does have a look now. This could be the chance. This is the chance to take his 6th place away. Even though he couldn't stay alongside there, Ranson, he's at least just hurt his run, and that is going to be problematic for Ridgway. Now they've coordinated a bit more slipstream for him as he goes down towards 5. This could finally be Ridgway's undoing. Oh, there's contact! Ranson's in the wall. They were both chasing the slipstream there. They were chasing it hard down the straight, and Ranson ends up in the wall. Oh my goodness, that is a big crash. And unfortunately, he's going to be limping back to pit lane. His front left tyre is completely deflated. Whether his suspension's broken or not, I'm not sure. He might be able to get away with just a nose cone change and a new front left tyre at a pit stop. Oh no, it's coming off, is it? Oh, yeah, it is probably wobbling now. Yeah, that tyre's going to come off completely here. 3 wheels on his wagon. And Ludovic Ranson's going to be very disappointed. And they're both going to be blaming each other for that as well. Oh goodness, he's going to try and get this back.
Wow, if he manages to make it back, I'll be well impressed. I'm surprised that tyre hasn't just come flying out from underneath him yet. Eddie Amos is going to go through. He's dropped all the way down now. Ranson into 14th.
Oh, don't sit in the middle of the road.
No.
He's sat sort of in the middle of the track as well, unfortunately. It's really right. It's lifting up like a Clio. It's quite amusing. Hello, he's not having the best internet connection either at the moment, so we'll leave him alone. But yes, he is in the wall hard down there at turn 5. A real shame to see the battle end that way, because it was a great defence from Ridgway and a great battle between everybody to keep it so clean throughout. But the last couple of laps, it's just unravelled slightly, and it's ended with that crash down at turn 5 there.
Yeah, Dorian Aruro has just lost a place to Aguado. Aguado did have to go into pit lane. So, unfortunately for Aguado, he obviously went into pit lane and has dropped him down the order. Max Invictus has got Tasky in behind him, and we've got to see in front Ridgway trying to get a hold of Simon Fessy there. So, great action taking place. There's still fights going on. Aruro now with Adam, that's Andy Flynn coming past at the same time for Dorian, and unfortunately looks like he might lose a position unless he can hang that out around the outside. No, unfortunately not.
Yeah, so Flint into the top 20 so far in this race, as at 15 begins. 8 to go at the end of this one, and it's started to get a bit quieter towards the end. That's what you expect to see. But for the majority of this race, we've been enjoying lots of battles for 6th place, and a big group as well. Big groups are very much out of fashion now in this race. Abelard is going to be looking for a top 10 though, at the expense of Cazorla. These two were just lurking around the back end of that group as we were seeing. He has got a massive run here. It's basically a straight from the carousel all the way to Canada Corner, even though there's a kink to the right and a few less, more gentle ones to the left. It's basically a long straight, but inside line, late braking from Cazorla, and he'll hold on to 10th.
Yeah, he made us go wide there. Luca Varani's come back with he's got Raygon in front of him, and he's also got Eunice Amal in the battle. So these guys are back, three-car fight, and that's Sean Pulsifer in the back, just been lapped there. Al Lazwinski's out in front by 2.2 over Jimenez, but he is starting to come into the area of back markers. So we'll keep an eye out to make sure that he can make his way all the way through without any problems there. So for Al Lazwinski, he's got Jimenez in behind, but he's got back markers playing a part as well now.
Only 33 on the lead lap compared to the 50 that started the race. Admittedly, a lot of the drivers are out the race at this stage. I think I can count only 38 remaining, so we've lost over a fifth of the field, unfortunately, here. Lots of replays for us to look through a little bit later on. Lots of incidents as well, but that's to be expected with 50 drivers, really. You can only afford to lose 2 laps, by the way, before you are not classified anymore. So John McKenzie at the moment is 1 lap down, and that'll be a lap and a half down, so he can lose another entire lap actually, but you need to, if you're 3 laps down or more, then you're not going to score any points from the day. And Cazorla has gone for a spin. Oh, it's a long slide. He's going to save it eventually, but I think he just clipped the grass there before turn 6.
Yeah, he just lost a position to Rabelard in 5, and then unfortunately got it a little bit wrong going into 6, and as you say, he just clipped the grass on the outside. Varani's in this fight here. There is Rajan and also Eunice Amal. So Varani, for a man without any practice, is doing rather well in 4th place.
It's doing all right. So in the conversation for a podium here, and they're not actually that far away from the race lead at the moment. Only 4.5 seconds away from Jimenez, who's second, 2.5 away from Olszewski. It's pretty close in the top 5 right now as the 5 of them make their way over the line. 2 seconds after one another. This group for third place, though, by far the closest. Reggian moves over to defend, and Varani goes even further to the right now to go on the offensive hit.
Touch!
Wheel-to-wheel contact, and that's exactly what you need to avoid in these cars. And all open-wheel cars, in fact. Thomas Reggian goes off the road at turn 1.
Oh, that was so unlucky. So unlucky. We'll have a look back at that and see where the contact came, but Varani's still not going to fight. He's still in a fight with Eunice Amal. Amal now looking up the inside of 5 as well. Is he going to be able to get there? It does look like he's going to be able to get there. What's Varani going to do? Amal just sort of goes it in a little bit hot there, coming into the last 5 laps. And we'll keep an eye on this battle for a little bit as Varani closes in on Eunice Amal.
Is right in the wheel tracks for the moment. What is he going to be able to do here about somehow just in front of him here, late on the brakes and close in behind for this podium. And he has been on the podium once so far this season. He was 3rd at Suzuka. He was only a 2.5 away from a podium last week as well. He's had a good start to the season. This is another good race in his early run here. Put him right up towards the front in the championship as we saw at the start of the day, although with Jimenez winning twice, it is difficult to come back from. Here comes Varani. Inside line in towards Canada Corner on Amal, and that is going to be through. So look at Varani through for the moment, but I'd expect that not to be the last change in the battle for 3rd.
No, I definitely don't think so either. I think we're going to see another one possibly down into turn 1. Depends on Varani's 14 exit. Not bad, not bad. That might put him into 3 temps, but we're going to see how fast the draft is now. 2.9, 2.8, 2.7, 2.6. Amal is coming at us. He's pulled over out of the draft, funny enough, as he's coming into turn 1. Maybe he thinks turn 5 is a better opportunity.
I think it is, to be honest. I think we've seen from that Ridgeway battle earlier that going through at turn 1 only to be overtaken at turn 5 is almost completely pointless. So staying behind in towards turn 1, I don't think it's the worst idea at all here from Eunice Amal. Let's see whether it works or not. If he doesn't get through here either, then it's all pointless. He's staying at the slipstream again now. So 6 laps to go, including this one. Are we starting to see tactics here? Is he playing tactics already with No, well, I suppose now that they know they'll be fighting for third and fourth between the two of them, it's just where they're going to finish out of those two positions. And he might be playing tactics already.
Yeah, but Amos and Baldwin has just changed positions there. But I do wonder whether or not Amal is sitting back thinking, I can't really go forward to Jimenez. So, and I don't want to get Varane too early because obviously I'm going to end up being stuck behind him again at some point. So maybe he's sitting there thinking waiting for the last couple of laps might be the way forward for him. But at the moment, we'll have to find out as Baldwin does manage to survive. But he does look like he's going in very hot there. He's had to slam the brakes in. That's going to bring Amos back into him as they go round the left under a turn 6. No, it does look like Baldwin's got the job done. But Andy Flint having a right little battle down here with Aguado.
Towards turn 5, you'd imagine Aguado will be favourite because of his past in the top 10 in this race. Hopping back after a pit stop. He will slip through on the inside eventually. So that's 18th place for Aguado. And Oscar Archinano is just up in front as well. 16th might be the best he can get, but certainly be expecting Aguado to get these positions because he was quite a long way ahead of these guys before his stop.
Yeah, he was. So I do expect him to go through here for Oscar Archinano, who's got Aguado coming at him. If it's going to be down, it'll be down now on that run. He's going to get him. Is he going to try and get him before the kink? He has got him before the kink. Great driving by Aguado. And now he's going to move forward on his bike. Emmanuel Vargas is also having a battle with Adrian Pesky further down. Both men look like they have been in their own little bits of drama. So, yeah, unfortunately for them, it is what it is. But Varane and him and Yunus Amal still battling away out in front.
Vargas is up 23, by the way, in this race. Started from the back after not setting a lap in qualifying. It's the biggest mover forward so far. So there he is in 25th. And he might be 24th. Oh, wow, he very nearly undid all of that. Driving straight into the back of Pascari there. Gets away with it in the end, Vargas. And now it's going to be side by side towards Canada Corner.
We'll take off the grass.
I don't know why he... Well, it's just miscommunication, really, between the two. And Vargas just drove straight in the grass.
Yeah, he drove straight over the grass, got the overtake done, and hasn't relinquished it back whatsoever. So, there you go. Overtake off track for him. Don't know what's going to happen with that one. Townsma is here now. He has got Loris Berla in and around as Berla's looking to go through.
Yeah, I would allow passes off the track if they're in the grass, to be fair. I mean, it's...
Why?
It's not exactly like it's gone quicker by going into the grass, doing some lawn mowing. Baldwin, meanwhile, off the road from 12th place, loses out to Eddie Amos and might... It's turn 8 again. What is going on down there today? You normally never see incidents down there, but for some reason, turn 8 is catching everybody out in this race. Amos goes through to 12th, and, well, he's going to lose another place here, Baldwin, very soon, because Stefano Colopanazzi is right in behind, looking for his 14th place gained today, and he's going to get it. Going to move into 13th place, so Baldwin loses 3 places on this lap.
No, he does, unfortunately. Now, I will tell you now, I've only picked certain incidents, right, because there has been loads throughout this race. We will be here for as long as we've been broadcasting the race. So we won't look at all of them. I have picked certain ones to have a look at, and then we'll go from there. But that's how that one's going to work as we look at Baldwin tucked in behind Finazzi. I'm sure
he is.
Didn't Finazzi have a Williams livery on? Has he taken it off, has he?
I don't know. I don't remember, actually, unsurprisingly. So,
I don't know why I'm shocked by that, Mr. O'Leary.
He's more easily spotted. Oh, and he's off now through turn 1. Big slide for him there. A bit of a weird one towards the exit of the first corner. Giovanni Solito also goes through. So Baldwin gains one of those places back again. Stefano Finazzi down to 15th after that.
Townsma has just been overtaken by Bayard and Ayan, who's in front. We've got a Pescari, Rancon, Vargas. I am expecting Ranson to just kind of motor past like a Ferrari overtaking a Renault Clio on the M25 here, as he has, obviously, we know from Ranson's pace, a lot quicker. We've got Luca Varani back again with Yunus Amal. I just want to get this overtake done. Oh, Vargas tried to follow through, couldn't make it through over Pescari there, but as I say, that the Amal Varani battle is settled back down again.
It is. I suspect, as we saw earlier, that Amal's just waiting at the moment, and he's trying to keep second place as they go on to 3 laps to go. Tony Jimenez sets the fastest lap of the race. Not that that's going to matter at this stage. He needs to really bring the time gap down by a crushing rate at the moment if he's going to win this race from here. 3 laps to go, and Jakub Olszewski's got 1.9 seconds. He's only been at 1 race so far this season, by the way, Olszewski, and it was a DNF. He qualified second, so had a good start to the day at Suzuka, but he finished 10 laps down and didn't score any points from it. So this will be his first point scored now, because you need to... Oh, no, he needs to do another lap, sorry. He needs to get to lap 21, of course, to be classified in this race. But yes, it is going to be his first points of the season here. It looks like it's going to be a full 43 as well, with the current gap that he's got. He's controlled this race, really, much in the way that Jimenez did last week. Olszewski is doing at the expense of Jimenez this week.
Yeah, he's just been out in front, hasn't he? And he's got the job done. And the overtake happened quite early on. And now for Jakub Olszewski, he's just kind of motored away. He has got back markers that he's been handling rather well. He's overtaken a few of them. And we've got, where are we? That's 30th in front of us. That is Costas Tenebrae at the same time that he's just got to pick up on. But he's only going to have one more after this. And for Olszewski, he's just got to keep it on the racetrack, hasn't he? Don't do anything silly, as we've lost Salito, Vargas and Pascari there. Look like they had their own little ding-dong.
Vargas has gone back to pit lane. So he was our biggest mover forward, but unfortunately it's just unravelled here towards the very end. He needs to get out and do one more lap if he wants to be classified. Yes, and he will do. Oh no, he won't. He's left. So that's a shame. He's not going to be classified, I don't think, from today's race, as Jakub Olszewski gets into the slipstream indeed of, 29th place, I suppose it will be, for Tenebrae. And he will get through in towards turn 1. So a couple more laps to go. Amal versus Varani is still pretty close in towards turn number 1, but Amal is still just almost intentionally not going through. Seems to me, anyway. We've seen that time and again in towards turn 1. As Fessi's that's fastest lap of the race now. We've seen it time and again in towards turn 1, but what about turn 5? Now that we're on the penultimate lap, are we going to see something a little bit different here from Yunus Amal? I wonder. Olszewski continues to lead ahead of Jimenez by a couple of seconds. Amal is going for it this time, so he's just waiting for the penultimate lap, and now he's going for it. The games are over, and Yunus Amal's up to 3rd.
Yeah, he is at the moment. Oh, Olszewski's crashed!
What has gone on there? And who has he hit? It's the lap car, surely. Jakub Olszewski's perfect race has come to an end. He's lost his nose, and I saw a rear wing flying about. I'm not sure who it belonged to either. Oh, it belonged to that driver up there.
Isn't it?
Yeah, maybe it is, yeah. Oh, and he's off. Well, no wonder. He's got no rear wing. It is Andrei Rizkowski. He's got no rear wing, and he's tried to go the carousel at the same speed. So, goodness me, look at the top 4 now all close together. Tony Jimenez leads, but not by much, because he slowed down so much to try and avoid Rizkowski and indeed Olszewski as well, who were picking themselves up and picking their pieces of car off the road as well. Here comes Amal and Varani. All of a sudden, they might both be on the podium here. How bad's the damage here for Olszewski? Is it just on the visual side that he's not got no front wing, or is he struggling for front downforce as well?
Oh, well, we're going to find out, aren't we? Because at the moment, they're closing in. I wouldn't even go in pit lane. Just try and suck it up and hold it as much as you can. But Jakub Olszewski there, but he has got these guys closing in. Look at Amal, look at Varani. It's going to be a massive overspeed. Varani's going to battle Amal. That might help. Nope, he settles back in. Final lap of the race now for Jakub Olszewski. Oh, he's losing places, hand over foot.
Can't do it. Oh, dear. Well, you said it at the time. There was no point coming in. He's not going to lose as much time on this lap as a pit stop would have cost him. But at the same time, through that high-speed turn 1, he was never going to hang on from Amal and Varani, who are now going to both be on the podium. But in what order here? Amal's going to defend in towards turn 5. This is not the last lap they were expecting here. Varani, oh, wow, that's the best overtaking opportunity on the lap now in the rearview mirror. He just didn't go through on the... Well, he didn't even attempt to go through on the inside.
No, but will he kind of got one more run through King down into Canada Corner. So if he gets close enough, he could have a go there. But for Luca Varani, he's got to be a lot closer.
He has got to be closer than this. But now, maybe it's Canada Corner. Maybe you think Canada Corner's the best chance. Yeah. Well, let's see here. As we come through the carousel, and a big slide for Amal there. Oh, well, that can't have been what Veroni was planning for, but it's certainly what he was waiting for and hoping for here. In towards the kink, he's going to go through. Now, where's Amal going to get back into the slipstream and come back again? Oh, is it going to be a master stroke towards the end? It could be, as he now comes very close in towards Canada Corner. They squeeze each other into the braking zone. Outside line for Amal. Is he going to get through here? It's going to be absolutely side by side, almost to the line maybe here, as they go through the ultimate corner. He's just going to squeeze out Veroni. He does. And Luca Veroni isn't going to get there unless it's going to be a run to the finish. Meanwhile, up front, Tony Jimenez is going to win his third race at the beginning of this season. 1, 2, 3 in a row for Tony Jimenez in the iGPFun Super Formula Lights League. What a start to the season from him. Amal and Veroni are going to finish in that order over the line. And Jakub Olszewski is going to be dejected over the line in fourth.
Oh, bro, so close, but yet so far. Baldwin and Fanazzi are still going and swapping places here. I suppose there's only really one replay we need to look at, and that's the Oleszewski incident. That was insane.
We'll have a look at it first out of the replays, and then we'll go through all the others. That has gone on through, well, not all the others, but
no, I'm going to go through. There's only about 3 more after, mate, because there was quite a lot of happening. Yeah. Oh, he's going to get him at the
this
line.
This is going to be side by side over the line, by the way. Hello, Baldwin might get him here.
Wow.
No, he didn't, not quite.
No, but that's
4,000 for a second.
Wow, that's about as close as you can get it.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was. I wouldn't have been able to decide in the naked eye, that's for sure.
No.
Very, very close for 13th, but I am not able to get on terms with Baylor. 19th, that's just half a second of a gap there, and that's pretty much it as far as the battles are going to go. The final drivers will cross the line here in a few moments' time. Luis Albino will be the last driver over because Costas Tenebro was just lapped there towards the very end. 34 drivers were able to do enough laps to get classified. That's the biggest we've had this season. We've still not quite got to the stage this season where people are crossing the line outside of the point scoring positions. 43 score points in this series. It's 1 point per position. Very simple for us to work out, which we're a fan of. Well, we are anyway. Not on this occasion, unfortunately. We haven't had 43 finish. In fact, Sherry's 43rd. He only did 5 laps after one of the incidents. One of them that we are going to see because he was in a bit of a pile-up, I think. So we'll get to the bottom of that in a few moments' time. But Albino crosses the line, and that is that for round 3 of the series. What a fantastic round it has been as well. Best race of the season so far, you could say, probably, here at Road America. Tony Jimenez wins in dramatic circumstances as Yunus Amal and Luca Veroni get past long-time race leader Jakub Olszewski, who ends up 4th. Thomas Regier will be 5th ahead of compatriot Simon Fessi. Robert Ridgway's great defending in the end gets him 7th. And then Mehmet Tashi, Max Invictus and Thibaut Rabelais running out the top 10. It is going to be Johnny Cazorla in 11th ahead of Eddie Amos. Stefano Finazzi just beat Baldwin, says by 2 thousandths there. Maybe it was even closer. Giovanni Solito rounds out the top 15 just behind them. 16th place has gone to Alex Aguero, who had that pit stop throughout the day, as did Alan Flint, by the way, very early on in the day. I think Elliot Fluggy and Loris Baylor might have started from the pit lane because it's showing they were in the pit lane at some point. I'm not sure whether I believe that or not.
Yeah, they did.
Running at the top 20 was Badin Ayan. Oscar Artinano was just outside the top 20 ahead of Adam Townsmer and Dorian Arroyo. All of those three gaining more than 10 places today, by the way, as did Adrian Pascari. Luis Ranson went backwards, unfortunately. He finished 25th at Matthew Gracie and Luis Albino, the last drivers on the lead lap. Costas Tenebro was lapped just at the very end there with Ben Goyet, Dennis Cornu, Scott Taylor, Sean Puspa and Kojito all 1 lap down at the end of that race, actually. 2 laps down was Wiskowski, and he's the last driver to score points. Manuel Vargas retired pretty late on. Unfortunate for him because he was our biggest mover forward at one stage. Elliot Yingling was next ahead of Abo Trinado, John McKenzie, Chris Velsen and Guillen running up the top 40. These are all retired, by the way. Felix Redondo, Carlos Ferro, Leonard Sherry, Stefan Dodderer, Stuart Milne, Richard Van Veen. Those last 3 did just 3 laps of this race. Clark Williams and Nicholas Rassman and Harry Sestononi did 2. Jacques Williams didn't even get to the end of the first lap before retiring from this race. So that is going to be that for the results. Let's have a look at some replays, starting with Olszewski and how on earth he lost this race.
Well, this might give us an idea because there he is. That is what Wiskowski did. Now, the question is, what sort of...
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it's a rejoin.
Oh my
Oh
God.
dear, oh dear.
What in the blinking Nora was that? Dude, that's
Well,
not even... no, you would go nuts if you were Olezeski over that. That rejoin, he just comes back in, onto the track. Here comes Olezeski.
I wonder whether we can see it from Olezeski's camera point as well, just to see what he saw, because it is a blind corner as well, coming up the hill here. So he will have seen a car in front of him, but he wouldn't have been worried about that one just for the moment. There's a bit of smoke. Oh, and he's totally committed to the corner as well.
And he can see. He couldn't have done... Can you imagine what was going through his head now? I would have literally been there going, no, 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 no. Oh my God, you did. Oh my blind.
I do at all, but Olezeski, well, that is a really unfortunate way to lose a race for Olezeski. And he ended up off the podium, of course, as well. So up front here, Jimenez then has a bit of a nightmare through traffic because, first of all, I think that's Tenebro who's involved in all of this, wondering what the hell's going on all around him at the moment. Wiskowski's got no rear wing, but enters the carousel like he has got one and spins off into the gravel. And so he finishes the lap down in the end, but he will be classified despite, and he'll be the last driver classified actually in this race. But what a mess that was towards the end. Let's have a look at some of the other replays. This looks like Willems on the opening lap was just forced off the road at the final corner.
Yeah, he was, and then unfortunately for Jacques, he ended up off the side of the circuit here as well. I think there was contact on the outside. I will try and bring that in a little bit more, but might be easier probably on that camera. But yeah, I think there was action, and unfortunately for him, he took a little bit of a bump. There you go, and that's it. But yeah, Jacques
ran into the back of the driver in front of him actually. He wasn't quite alongside really. Unfortunate for Willems, who was out of the race. Chris Vales also retired. Oh, final corner. Really off here.
Yeah,
me.
Flugie was in behind that as well. Fanazzi then goes in and has their own little drama. I'm trying to find... This is Tasky and Wiskowski's incident. This is still on lap 2.
Yeah, this... oh no, they both just run wide. There was definitely something at turn 8 quite early on in the race that ended in a big smash. Oh, that's a big accident down the back of the pack. Clark Williams. This is early on in the race as well. That's pretty big.
Yeah, that was Williams and Pescari's moment. Now, there was this kicked off. This was Gracie and Tenebrow. They've had their own drama back on lap. This is still, mind you, we're still on lap 2. Oh, dude. Oh, my God.
Oh, hello. Not sure that's broadcastable. Dear me. That's terrible. Oh, no. Well, anyway. I feel great. I've never seen a crash quite like that before. I've got to be honest. Oh, dear. And whoever that was has got rear damage now and has spun immediately. Matthew Gracie got away with it somehow in the end.
Oh, look. In
this
front.
is how John McKenna... Oh, no! Oh, we didn't see this at all live. This is a big... I did not realise this happened at all. Oh, my goodness. This is a big accident.
That's Wiskowski again.
Oh, my goodness me. Ben Goyette, look at that.
Air time, baby.
Oh, we're going to continue on as well. We're going to need to try and get to the bottom of this. So, Engun trying to get through on the inside. I'm afraid he's just trying to get through on the grass, which is not really a good idea. As you can see, this is why. Oh, my goodness me. Fair play to everybody, by the way.
Why are they not slowing down?
Never mind. I was about to say fair play to everybody behind for slowing down, because the first few did, but then somebody came piling in there. I'm not sure who that was. But,
I don't know if that was Scott.
That was a big pile-up.
Oh, this may have been John McKenzie.
Oh, John.
Oh, John.
Slow down, John. Really? Goodness sake. Oh, no.
I mean, Scott Taylor might have been...
Oh, my goodness. Someone's doing gymnastics down the straight as well there. That's...
Oh, Taylor did slow down.
Well, it wasn't Scott Taylor's fault, that one.
No.
Really? Who's this coming through the air, by the way, down at the very end?
Who that? Oh.
Who's that?
Was
Goodness
that
me.
Lewis Albino?
It can't have been. Oh my God. Me. How he survived that. Good driving from Albino, although he didn't really slow down. Good avoiding driving. Oh, it's Harry Sastin.
Oh my God, you know where we're going, right?
Oh my goodness, that's a violent crash.
Look, no slowing down on yellow flags. That's what I don't understand. Look at that.
Oh, dear.
I hope he's not in VR.
That's a terrible crash. Oh, and he was hit again as well. Oh, no, it doesn't stop, does it?
Did they ever slow down at all? Did anybody slow down for a yellow flag? Because that looked just absolute... No, clearly not. Look at Taylor's car. He's got his engine hanging out.
Oh, dear. Well, that was not what we expected to see at all on the front straight. Apologies for missing that live, by the way. We must have been focusing on the leaders at the time, I suppose. But this was happening down the back. One of the biggest crashes we're likely to see this season. Harry Saston flipping over and over and over again, and then getting clipped.
Oh, he's hit again. Oh, my God. I think they need a rule on slowing down here, because clearly nobody did. I don't even know if we want to see any more after that, do we? We've just taken 5 minutes.
I think there's one more down at turn 8 that I do want to see. There was 3 drivers or so involved. I think it was pretty early on in the race.
Okay, hold on.
And we'll try and get it. Might have been lap 5 or something, quite early on. Anyway, this is Vargas. Oh, he was in the walls a little bit, despite having the most places gained at one stage. He was in the walls. Oh, I thought he was nearly beached there on the little ramp between the grass and the tarmac there.
Was it after this one?
We saw this live for Dodderer.
Might have been after that.
There was definitely something at turn 8 where there was a few drivers involved and a few retired at the end of it. I think Ferro and Cherry might have been
here we
two
go.
of them. Matt started here, yeah. So this is Carlos Ferro. Oh, that's quite rude. Big defence, and, well, he is shoved around for his troubles. So that might be where it all started, and it might just have continued here. These two are absolutely not fans of each other now.
No, they're not friends.
No Christmas cards this year for these two.
No.
Yeah, so that's where it started. It's going to end down the bottom of the hill here. Ferro is going to be involved in something here.
Do you reckon he's going to get sent off?
In the grass. Oh, he's just gone wide, and they've followed him. So he goes wide in the gravel.
Then they come back
on. Oh, wow. That's how it happened. So
that's Yingling,
I think that's
isn't
Cherry
it?
involved, and I can't remember who the other one was. But
Yingling? No, it's not Yingling. I wonder if that was Finazzi. Yeah, Finazzi was there. So he gets
So he avoided it. Finazzi went wide and actually avoided a crash.
Yeah, the first play. But yeah, that was the other thing that went on. But that was all started because they had their own little bit of argy-bargy, hadn't they? And then it just sort of, he just come back in and it all kind of kicked off from there. After that, there weren't any really major ones after this one. To be blatantly honest, that I really am that worried about. There was a few people running off track. Koji Otaski was sort of running off here. The other one was Pescari and Mackenzie, but I don't know if this was all at the same time. So, no, there was a lot of that. That's the problem.
Yes, there was. A lot of just running a little bit wide. So that's pretty much all the major incidents of the day to have a look at. And then Gurnu will do the same. Oh, no, he'll actually get to the grass and in the wall pretty hard as well. That's not ideal. And that was the end of that race. Benazzi down in towards turn 5. Actually had a good finish in the end, despite all of his trials and tribulations. 13th place finish, but he did have a spin down at turn 5 as well.
This is the other one. This is Chris Fowles putting himself back in pit lane here. So whether or not... Oh, okay, he just pulled off.
Yeah. Giving up the ghost there.
This is Denny Cornu.
Oh, no. Oh, wow. So
that answers that.
That was just a bit of a check-up there. So is that Ridgeway in front, or is that someone else? Anyway.
That's Tasky in front.
Okay. So, yeah, that was when Cornu had just dropped a little bit further down the group. Then a bit of a check-up, really. A bit unfortunate for Cornu, really, but that's his first finish off the podium this season.
Yeah, that was the Ranson.
About this.
The Ranson spin, wasn't it?
Yeah, so does Ranson come across on Ridgeway, or does Ridgeway come across on him?
Oh, hold on.
Is the thing to try and figure out here. It cost Ranson about 20 places in the end. Looks to me like Ranson's coming over, to be honest, just away from that white line. And in the end, pays the price for it. Not sure how the stewards will view that one a little bit later on, but a big dramatic moment down the bottom of the hill. So I think Ranson was probably the one who came across there.
Yeah, and then Cazorla again. I think could be after. That's the one we caught just live where he starts spinning rather slowly. There was something going on with Tornado that sent him straight back into pit lane. So he's gone and done that. And then Mackenzie has also sent himself back straight into pit lane. Oh,
ouch.
Ouch. For him.
Why is it with turn 8 today?
I don't know.
I can't understand why that's proved to be so difficult suddenly.
Well, turn
this
14.
is Yingling again.
Oh, he goes into pit lane. Okay, that's fair enough then. The other one was the Vargas and Piscari overtake on the grass, which
Could have been a lot worse.
could have been, yeah, I agree with you. And then Austin Baldwin having his own little moment, which I think this is where he dropped away from where we were talking. Yeah, he dropped away from Eddie Amos. Vargas then has his own another drama, puts him back in pit lane. And obviously then we've got the Wiskowski and Olizwinski incident, which this rejoin, dude, you are going to be in deep doo-doos. Because
well, this is the moment of the race, unfortunately, the moment where the race was decided.
He can see, look, he can see.
Oh, yeah, well, whether he can see or not, he's got a relative, and so shouldn't have rejoined on the racing line like that, and it's unfortunately decided the race. This is the moment where the race was decided, unfortunately.
He didn't even stay on one side of the track, he just comes straight across the middle.
Yeah.
That is really poor. I'm sorry, Andre, but that is absolutely zero IQ driving on that one. But
it's a shame to see the race end that way, but overall, it's a pretty fun race to watch. Great battle for sixth place, especially, which was going on there as we were watching. But best race of the season so far, you would say. But just unfortunately, the race win was decided in that way.
Yep, I do fully agree with you. It's been absolutely epic. To catch all of that, I needed like 4 PCs running with monitors all over the place. To be blatantly honest, that was insane.
It was all going on, and we eventually caught all the pile-ups that went on early on in the race as well, because we were watching the leaders at the time of the opening laps of this race. Well, that's just about it from us here from Road America. A very enjoyable round of the championship. We'll be back in 1 week's time, live on Sunday night as always from the Hungaroring, as we take on a European circuit for the second time this season. And we'll be live with that same time, same place, usual place on the JP YouTube channel. I've been Ewan alongside James Parfitt. Until we see you in 1 week's time at the Hungaroring, it's goodbye for now.